quick, which is to say a couple of things. One, the resignation, I know that we still need to air these issues, but the resignation of the mayor is now a done deal. There is a new mayor in office. Today was convened for us to discuss the way ahead, right? I want to be really clear about this, right? What discussions we need to have about strategies in the future are the discussions we need to have about strategies in the future, but for us to move ahead as a nation on this issue, we need to focus on what we require now out of the states and out of local government. We are not here to go over what happened and whether it was right or wrong. We have a new mayor in office, we have a new government in place, we fought to have a minister of gender and some other things, right? And we need to speak to them. I said in my comments that the history of the feminist movement is that we need to hold the state accountable. It is the state that passes laws, that puts resources, that has power, that can reach towns and communities, okay? So this is really, I must ask with all my convincing power possible, can we focus on the way ahead and what are the concrete things that we want to advocate from our state officials? That's the first thing. The second thing is that today is not for putting feminism on trial, okay? That is another discussion. You can have it in other places. Today is for us to agree that there is a problem in the society, whether it's happening in our homes, or in our streets, or in relation to a national festival for which the nation state claims a major source of its identity, right? It's post-colonial identity. So, with all due respect, you can convene a session on feminism and its radicalism, and if we have time, right, while we're not building allies in the men's movement, we will certainly come. But today is not that day for putting feminism on trial, okay? Today is the day for moving ahead and putting our state and its officials in the answering box, right? You want them in the box? Today is that day, okay? So that's really all I have to say.
I want to try and really keep us on the issue of violence against women. Because I just got wind of a little document here. It's not a little document based on what is before us, on the report of domestic violence for the years 2005 to 2015. Now we got a snapshot from Margaret. But the line that troubles me, there are two lines that trouble me most in this report. It's a line which deals with assault by beating, and another line which addresses breach of protection order. So you'll understand where the problems rest in this country. Assault by beating in 2005 was 491 reported cases. And it goes up in 2008, 839. It went down in 2009, 609. It went up in 2010 again, 849. It went higher in 2011, 1140. In 2012, 1042. 2013, it dropped, 965. 2014, it dropped a little bit, 823. And in 2015, 808. But I want to juxtapose that against the breach of protection order. You all know what that is. When the court say don't go near the woman, don't go near the house, don't go near the children. In 2005, it was 19. Small number. It could mean all kinds of reasons why it is so small. 2006, 13. 2007, 72. 2008, 83. 2009, 221 people breached the order. 2010, 126. 2011, 180. 2012, 177. 2013, 136. 2014, 116. And again in 2015, we saw a decline of 95. Now that is a narrative that we need to pay attention to. Because in a sense, what it is saying is that people who have been ordered by the courts of the land not to do something are in fact in violation of the courts of the land and breaching the protection orders given to women across the nation. That is of concern to me. You see, I really didn't come to talk about Tim Key. That is the truth. I came to hear, and I will make no secret about it, I said it initially, I came to hear the new mayor because in a sense, I know he's not a stupid man. And I was hoping this morning that he would have, as it were, taken a torchlight and pointed it on a wall and said, this is where we should be going. And I hope this morning, all of us would come up with 10 points. We will point 10 torchlights on the wall to say to the country, this is where we must go insofar as it relates to violence against women in Trinidad and Tobago.
My name is Patrick Prescott. I'm a former Kiwanis PRO at Aruka Kiwanis Club. Also, I'm a former Rape Crisis Members Society. Member of the Rape Crisis Society. Alright, what I want to just share with you this morning is that we suffer from mindsets. Okay, this is a reminder given to me by Dr. Sabda, who trained me in counseling. And the violence which we see ends up from jealousy, strife, and envy. In some cases, we have men who feel that women should not work. Then we end up also having feelings of betrayal and of trust in both parties. Then there's breakdown in communication. Also, upbringing and early childhood development problems. What the children see their parents do, they act out. Okay, then also, norms in behavior and accepted behavior in society. Like, for example, people exposing themselves indecently in public. Children see it as a norm, and as they grow up, they said it's okay to do so. Also, 6 point, inferiority complex in both parties, men and women. So, in some cases, we can say how women comport themselves and how men react to how they comport themselves. Every action is an opposite and equal reaction. We have to look at that. Alright, I suggest some solutions now. Solutions for development to achieve potential in a modern day evolving society in economic growth of countries worldwide and dependent on poverty levels and income of parties. Ministry of Social Development and Church, a self-awareness programs to enhance perception of parties and family development. Outreach programs in communities to debunk sexist attitudes because everybody's talking about rights. Last but not least, effective prayer in families because some people do not pray at all. And the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking to devour all of whom we can devour. Okay, I'll wrap up now and that's my humble contribution.
For the panelists, members of the audience, I am Evangelist Anjali Rampersad, and I'm here to bring to you a message from the Lord, which came to me in December last year, which is very relevant to what is happening in this world. Very briefly, yes. He said, I will cherish a woman because of my mother, and because a woman cleansed my feet with her hair and with her tears, and a woman anointed me. They loved me, they wept for me at the cross, and they were the first to arrive at my tomb. Hence I will lift up the woman. The men have abandoned and disrespected the woman, just as they have abandoned and disrespected me. So you see what the women are going through is parallel to what Jesus went through his time. And the roles that these women played in his life, it really impacted him today. So it came like a seed that these women sowed in Jesus' life, and he remembers it even today. So the message is very clear. What I think coming out of this is looking at society and the way it's going. It seems that we have fallen so far away from our roles that the Lord set up for us as men and women. And the men really need to be trained or get counsel into knowing what their roles are in the family as leaders and even as priests in the household. So this is my contribution this morning for everybody.
My name is Nan Gosain Ramgulam, private citizen. First, congratulations are in order to Professor Watson and his team and the institution for hosting this event, and also to the presenters and so far all the contributors. Our dear beloved former mayor made a comment. I may not be able to quote you correctly, but generally he said too often men cannot deal with situations they are confronted with, and I think he gave an example of a jilted lover or something to that extent, and there may be other issues. I think he just drew an example. And then our beloved Dr. Hussein, in her last comment, said we agree that we do have a problem, and we say yes to that. Having said that, questions. I have 3 questions. Given that the behavior of men against women, i.e. violence in its universal form, the different aspects of violence, and in general, 3 questions are posed. Is there a role for us women to play in addressing this problem? I'm talking about introspection. 1. 2. Is there a role for both of us, both men and women together? Operative word is together. To play, to address this issue confronting our citizens. Question 3. If the response, my dear Mayor, former Mayor, your response is in the affirmative, can we, or can you proffer some suggestions or interventions to take with us? If your response is a blended approach, yea, nay, can you give us some rationale for saying? And before I take my seat, some suggestions. Abuse in all its forms generally is followed by violence. By abuse, by violence, yes. So can we dissect this thing in a clinical way and treat with domestic violence, gender violence, child violence, sexual violence, psychological violence, physical violence? So ongoing sensitization on these areas, individually and collectively, may go a long way in assessing both men and women in our society. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. I have a question for Ena Maharaj, who might be able to shed some light on the matter. How do we speak to people or speak to individuals who may have a mentality that they don't think they're wrong? For example, how do we talk to the brothers who would protect their sisters to their dying day, but then would not have a problem catcalling other women, not realizing they are also a sister? How do we tell our fathers, how do sons tell their fathers that we don't have to be violent to be men? How do we tell our mothers, mom, we don't need to take this kind of treatment? Mentality is so important in this situation and in this problem that we're having. How do we go about changing that? Do we use situations like these in public service announcements rather than a generic one that might cause people to change the channel, perhaps?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ena Maharaj, and I volunteer with different NGOs organizations. One of the NGO organizations, when I was president, I held domestic violence against women in Chibonas a couple of years ago. And I want you to know I also work under temples and other faiths. And I work on the fields, so I'm going to tell you what I do on the ground level. And these are some of the things that you come up with when you go on the ground level, on the field work, and you see how children cry and adults cry, and you listen to them. It really takes to you. Another point, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you know, is that I attended one of my meetings. I'm also involved in the different NGOs. And I attended one meeting one evening, and at 10:30 p.m., when I reached home in the back of my house, I heard children crying, and I could not even go to bed. I called ChildLine, and on the end of the ChildLine, the lady said to me, "Ma'am, why don't you mind your business?" Well, she mashed my toe. I said, "Excuse me, if you was minding your business years ago, I will not have called you now." And immediately I called Tunapuna police station, And I called about 3 times, and they came, and you know what? It was a whole big situation in Bangladesh. And I could go on, because where I live in Tunapuna, I don't only call police on ChildLine. I try to get in the people's business, and I don't know if I may get killed one day. But I walk the walk and I talk the talk. Another point I want to make, and I must endorse what former mayor said. I said it to former Minister Mali Kodre when she was minister on the Gender, Youth and Child Development. Take this to the community centers. Let us take it. I said it many times. Please, these are the people who are crying. Let them come with their rubber slippers. Let them come with their old clothes. It's that those are the people we need, not us here only. Come on. I'm speaking, I'm talking, I'm walking. And with all of your help, we need to come together. Please. Thank you very much.